Yes guys, welcome back to today's video. Thank you for taking the time out today to watch this video, and I hope it's useful to some of you. And all of the things that I mention in this video are strictly my opinion, based on what I've been through with the car and how hard I think it would be for the average Joe, because I consider myself the average Joe, just in my garden, don't have any special tools, just a Halford socket set, you know. So anything I ever do, it's DIY. So number 5 and first on the list is the actuator. Now you can fit this yourself, but it needs to be set up with what's called a MITIVAC system, and any tuners or a good garage will have a MITIVAC system at hand, and it's basically just a way that they measure how much pressure that the actuator can take, because you don't want it when the actuators are set, you've got the bar that goes in and out of the actuator, and it's threaded, and obviously if you thread too much you can have too much boost and you can do self damage. So it's always best to get it checked by a professional. Next up on the list is my number 4, and this is the exhaust. Now I found this to be relatively simple. It's just literally a case of unbolt it from the turbo. There's 3 bolts in like a triangle pattern. Undo those, lots and lots of penetrative fluid like WD-40 or something similar on the bolts the night before makes life so much easier, and also a grinder, because if it's a standard system the bolts are likely to be very crusty and won't come off very easily. They'll give you a fight. So other than that, grease the hangers up as well when you try and get exhaust rubbers off, because it makes pulling them out a lot easier. Next up we have the Remap. Now a Remap is going to get a 1 out of 10 from my point of view. It's a handheld device, the one that I've got anyway, and it literally plugs into the OBD port. You press the buttons, read what it's saying on the screen, install your tune, away you go, and that's it. As long as you've got the supporting mods to go with it, then you'll be all good. So that is nice and simple, and along with the mods that I already had, the Remap was just a great a compliment to all the other mods that I'd got, such as the intercooler, the exhaust, the intake, and all the rest of it. So that was that's going to get a 1, is it's very easy to do. Going off a normal Remap where you'd go to somebody else and they would remap your car for you instead of just a handheld device, you can only get 1 map out of that. If you need to change it for any reason or adjust it for any reason, you've got to go back, you've got to pay that money again. So for me, buying the handheld device, it just makes life a lot easier. You can swap and change the tunes when you want, and if you change the mods in any way, upgrade or take any off, whatever, you need to go on a run up the motorway and you want a bit more economy in these cars, if that's a thing, I don't know, then you can change it with this handheld device. So definitely check that one out. Okay, my number 2 is painting, wrapping or debadging. Now I've included this as like a whole, the painting, the wrapping or debadging, because doing little things like that for me makes such a massive difference. For me, when I wrapped the lower part of the exhaust and then debadged it, it transformed the whole rear end for me. And the same with things like the wing badges. When I painted those from the side, side view, you've got no more chrome. Now I don't like chrome. So for me that was a massive improvement. And then when I wrapped the front lip at the bottom of the grille, and painted interior bits like around the steering wheel and whatnot, it's made a massive difference visually for me. So that was my number 2. So we have made it to number 1, and the top of my list for the modifications I've done to this car so far is an air filter. Now the air filter itself I bought off eBay on its own. and then I bought silicone hoses to go with it, which made it a lot cheaper for me, um, and it would do for you guys. However, the elbows and joiners that you will buy separately from other places. Mine was from a guy called Anthony Buckle on Facebook, and they are Core Performance hoses. Now, they will fit directly to the vehicle, and they'll be okay, but I found the 90-degree elbow was just a bit too long, so I had to trim it down on sort of like the top part and the lower part to bring the filter in a bit and to shorten the distance between the 90 and the MAF. Whereas if you go to, I mean, you can do that yourself, that's completely fine, there's nothing wrong with that, but to make it look neater and for ease of things, just buy the kit. It's a lot easier from somewhere like Matt Lewis Motorsport or AirTech, wherever you like, but buy it as a kit. It just makes life a lot easier. It's a little bit more expensive, but like I say, it just makes life so much easier. And the hardest part of installing an air filter on these is taking the original airbox out. If you've got the original airbox, massive, it's a fiddle to get it out from under the plenum and the radiator. There's not much room. However, I have given this a 4 out of 10 because I just think it is very, very easy, and it makes servicing your car, if you do it yourself, a lot easier because you can access the oil filter and the oil filter housing to be able to get the oil filter out. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video and hopefully it helps somebody out. If not, well, I tried. So anyway, as always guys, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe and all that goodness, and I'll catch you in the next one.